Hello there, everyone. Thanks for tuning to Sin's Workshop. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. Today we are going to be reviewing When the Moon Hatched. I just finished this book this morning. Yes, I finished this book. It was so good. Cannot stress that enough. I absolutely love this book. I was a little hesitant to read this book, to be perfectly honest, because there's so much hype for it. You know, there's so much hype for this book. And I was just worried. I was like, oh, please, hype, don't fail me right now. So I was trying to be a little bit more detached from all the hype, so that I could form, you know, my own opinion of the book. 50 pages in and I was in love with it. 50 pages in and I was in love with this book. I was like, okay, this is going to be a 5-star book for me. I know it. Unless the author does something to really piss me off, this is already a 5-star book for me. That was me 50 pages into this 690-page book. Yes, I've already pre-ordered the Waterstones exclusive edition, and yes, I do plan on purchasing the Fairyland exclusive edition because I am nuts, and that is how much I love this book. It was so well done. I loved it so freaking much. I think Reeve herself, she's just an amazing character. She's bitchy, she's snarky, she is not a damsel in distress. She is a force to be reckoned with. She's a bitch. But she's like, you love her. You absolutely just love her. And I do love that about her. That she just does not take anyone's shit. But you also understand that she's a little broken. There's something broken in her. So she likes to keep people separated. And you're just like, oh, this shield, this armor that you wear around yourself, where you just don't let it keep you from loving, and don't let it keep you from forming a family. But you feel for her. You know something happened to her, but you don't know what. And you want to know what else? And this is like the best part. The story just reveals itself, and you're just like, oh, every time. There are so many moments where I felt like my heart was just being ripped out of my chest because of all the heartbreaking things. Like, Essie? Too soon. That's all I have to say. Too soon. Parker's characterization is so on point because you become attached to these characters very, very easily. I mean, Essie and Elowen and Reeve and Khan and Vea, they are all such phenomenal characters. And that's another thing that I like. Okay, so I know I'm going on a bunch of different tangents, but again, my mind has not completely finished processing this book because I just finished it this morning. So apologies. I love when authors give minor characters their own point of view. They don't need to have a point of view every other chapter. You know, Khan doesn't get his first point of view, I think, until like 300 pages into the book. And Vea, I think another 200 pages after that. It's very spread out. And sometimes characters only get one perspective, one point of view. That's all. That's all they need. You know, they're not dragging out the plot. They're adding more depth and dimension to the overall story. You're seeing the relationships and plot points in history revealed in a whole new way that couldn't have been introduced in one of the main perspectives. But you're also getting to know some of the minor characters a little bit more, and some more of the history. Parker did it in a way where you're not taken out of the story. You're not distracted from the plot. She enriches the story. Sometimes when authors do too many point of views, you're just like, ee. And I think a lot of the times authors, I do, you know, I can speak for myself. Sometimes we're so invested in making sure every character has their own point of view. Like when I'm editing my process, I'm like, you know what? This person doesn't need a point of view here. Scrap. You know? I think sometimes authors and writers, you know, we get in our heads and we think, oh, everyone needs to have, if it's 3 characters, every 3rd chapter, you know, character 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I think sometimes we fall in the trap of, no, we need to make sure every character is represented equally. We don't need that. If it's not going to enrich the story, we don't need that. And I love that Parker doesn't fall into that trap that I think some authors do fall into. The characters' perspectives serve a point when they are there, and it doesn't ruin the flow of the story. In fact, it raises the tension of the story. And the fact is, these characters are amazing. I loved reading about them. I loved seeing them brought to life in the page and seeing how their dynamics with the other characters were represented and just grew and flourished. And Elwyn's diary entries, whew, I mean, those were just, at first I was just like, who's Elwyn? Like, what's her purpose here? I was a little confused, but again, I wasn't taken out of the story because you're seeing some history here. You're just like, this is interesting. I need to know more about you, Elwyn. Who are you to Reeve? Who are you to the rest of these characters, you know? I was invested in the journey and the mystery that was right there. And oh my god, the dragons! First of all, moon plumes are adorable, and I want one. I do. Of course. Again, I will read anything that has to do with dragons. I love dragons. But it's just, it's a phenomenal book. Can I stress that enough to you? It's a phenomenal book. It's a 5-star read for me. Hands down. Hands down. Can you tell? Am I getting that across to you guys? That I freaking love this book. I'm already telling my coworkers that before I was even done with it, I'm just like, it's such a good book. I love it so much. It's such a good book. I love it so much. My character's like, all right, Cynthia, just calm down already. And I'm just like, I can't come down. And now I'm done with it. So now I'm going to be even more annoying about it. It's such a good book. And I don't know when book 2 is coming out. And there's no release date. But after that ending, OMG. Seriously. I just have to take breaths. That's it. In any case, once again, When the Moon Hatched, I have to give this book 5 stars. It was phenomenal. I love the characterization. I loved that the story focused so much on building the story and the character dynamics. Yes, there's some spice in here, but that spice does not happen until like page 530 out of 690. It is a slow burn romance, and it's phenomenal because you know what, for me, I don't need romance to take up the entire aspect of the story. I'm not really a romance reader. I'm a fantasy reader. Does fantasy tend to have a lot of romance? Yes, but the romance is not the central core of the story. So I appreciated that Parker, you know, she has those spicy scenes in here, but they don't detract from the plot. In fact, they kind of use it as a negotiation tactic. It's very interesting and somewhat amusing. I will say that. Honestly, excellent book, love it. Just, you have to read it. I promise you, you will not regret it. Once again, 5 stars. If you want to pick up the book yourself, I will, of course, include links in the description. On that note, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with all your book-loving friends. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, happy reading.